Hi everyone. Welcome to the lecture video for week 5, which is all about goals. Hi, honey. Sorry, my little girl is here with me. So this week, like I said, what I really want to talk about is setting goals. And so you'll see right here on Blackboard in week 5, it's already available at time of recording. It's been available, but so you'll have the intro video for this week, and then you'll have the list of goals and SMART goals. And so we're going to talk about the SMART goals first, because then we'll get into the assignment, which is that list of goals. So, SMART goals, I want to share with you. This sheet is actually one that I've seen before and used before, both in FYE class when I taught FYE, as well as something that I saw when I was going through my graduate programs, first in English, then again in education. This is something that they talk about. So, excuse me, it is worth saying, especially because the goal of this is to, move on and do something with your education. So remember, if you recall back when we were talking at the very beginning of this class, what capstone is all about. It's about planning for the future. And realistically, that's what I want this week most importantly. It's not to say everything else wasn't important, it's not to say everything isn't important, but the goals is the thing that I'm asking you to take seriously, because it's the thing that's going to hold you accountable to yourself. It's not a me thing, it's a you thing. Well, it's okay, honey. Yeah. So, of course, you don't want the binky. So this worksheet is the SMART Goals worksheet. This is one of those things, like I said, that I've used before in FYE. I've seen in education courses. I've seen in my intro to graduate program. Oh, it's okay, honey. I've seen it in my intro to graduate studies English course. So this is a fairly normal thing. The whole point is to kind of figure out what is the best way to set a realistic goal. And so they come up with the acronym SMART. And I do like SMART, and when I tell people, even in advising, not necessarily in classes, I talk about setting SMART goals. And I don't always explain what I mean by that, and then sometimes I go through the acronym itself, but I don't tell them it's an acronym. So, of course, I have to. It's okay, honey. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. So, SMART goals are S for specific. And that is one of the most important things with any kind of goal setting, is you don't want the goals to be broad and generic. You don't want it to be, get a job. Okay, well, that's pretty broad. Get a job in what? Because if it's just get a job, then you can, apply to Walmart. Here you go, honey. My wife took the baby. So it can be get a job. Okay, get a job at Walmart. Get a job working at Presque Isle and, cleaning bathrooms. A specific goal would be get a job in criminal justice. That's already more specific than just get a job. It can be pretty detailed, and it's really the point of trying to work through a SMART goal worksheet like this, or trying to set good goals, is to be as detailed as you can about what your goal is. What does the end look like? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? What does it look like? If your goal is to be rich, okay, well, what does that mean to be rich? Is that you make a certain amount of money? Is it you have a home? Is it you have a luxury car? Like, what does that mean? So, S, specific. What is that goal? You want it to be specific as possible, because that's what's going to help you keep on track. It's going to help you know when you've achieved your goal. And now, of course, we get into the M part, which I want to point out all of these letters for SMART are important. They work together. M is measurable. How are you going to track your progress? How are you going to know that you've come from point A to point B? How do you know that you've succeeded? Now it's not just you set a specific goal. Now it's you set a goal and you can look at all the steps you've taken to make it there. So it needs to be a measurable goal. It can't be successful. Be successful is not specific, it's very broad, but it's also not measurable. How do you measure success? And anyone that's taken me for something like juvenile justice or intro to criminal justice or English class will know that I love making you think about what does success look like. Because how do we measure it? That all depends on so many things. So it's not a specific thing and it's not really measurable. So when we are setting our own goals, we want to make sure that they are not only specific, but they are measurable. We have a way to notice when we've hit certain milestones, when we've hit certain points, when we've made progress. The A part of SMART is action, and what we really mean is achievable. So what actions need to happen for this to be achieved? So actionable. What is actionable about your goal? What are the actions that you need to achieve your goal? If your goal is to become a parole officer, that is a specific goal. Measurable, okay. We can measure some key points of getting there because our actions are going to be the things that we use as our measuring tool. So I want to be a parole officer. Well, I know it needs this many things, so here we go. Here are my actionable items. This is what I have to do. I have to get training through the academy. Well, not through the academy, through the state of Pennsylvania. I have to work this many years. I have to work as this type of trainee. I have to do all these things. Those are actions. Those are measures. So, excuse me. The R and the T of SMART are the parts of SMART goals that push you personally. And I mean, like, the other ones may make you think a little bit deeper about it, but the R and the T is where sometimes it means that maybe the goals that you set in the first part aren't quite right and they need tweaking, because R is realistic. Is your goal achievable? And this is where I say, going to the extreme examples, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, great. That's a goal. That's a specific goal. You can measure it by how much net worth you have. What actions do you need to take to get there? You might be able to think of quite a few, but are they actually achievable, or are they more dreams? And I don't want to say you can't achieve your dreams, but it helps to be realistic. This is where I mention past students who have gone through the program and done the capstone. This is a conversation that usually comes up, is about their goals being realistic. One absolutely wants to be a lawyer, but they also know that for their current situation right now, their financial situation, their family situation, they can't achieve that right now. That's something that, instead of it being, yeah, I can keep going to school and get my law degree, and that's not realistic for that person. Not that they can't do it, it's just not realistic right now. And so that T part, which is why I said these two challenge you, is time oriented. How long is this going to take to complete? How long will it take to reach your goal? If your goal is realistic, how long is it realistically going to take? For some, that's realizing, I'm 10 years from retirement. And again, these are past students. I'm 10 years from retirement. And I've been in the same career for 30 years. I want to change, but if I go anywhere, I'm going to take a huge pay cut, and I'm going to be there temporarily. Do I really want to do a career change this late in the game, or do I want to plan for a post-retirement casual, like, part-time work? And that was kind of that, having a realistic goal in mind, knowing I'm not going to be able to, go into this particular field, do this particular thing, because it's going to take me another 7 years to complete all the necessary training, and I'm 10 years away from being retirement age. That means 3 years that I'm going to work in that field, and that's not really what I want. So this is why I say this is an important assignment, and it's going to challenge you a little bit. I'm not asking you to be depressing. I'm not asking you to be defeatist. I'm not asking you to throw out all your dreams. But what I'm asking you to do is, when you're thinking about your goals, when you're thinking about what you want to do, yes, I want them to be specific. I want them to be measurable and actionable, but I want them to be achievable. I want them to be realistic. And I want you to be realistic with the time. How long is it going to take you to achieve that dream? If your dream is to be a child psychologist, you're going to have to get likely at least a master's in therapy or psychology. That's 2 more years for a bachelor's after an associate's, and 2 more years of graduate school. That's 4 more years of college. You know that. That is realistic and time-oriented. And that's if you go full-time. This is the hard part. Being honest with yourself and saying, yes, this is what I want to do. How am I going to do it? How long is it going to take? Is this achievable? And now I want to emphasize, I don't want you to just kind of rush through this and be like, yep, I know what I want to do. Great. I want you to take time with this. Because again, the SMART goals and the goals itself, it's a checkbox for me to say that, yep, you've done some work and figured this out. Your goals are your way of keeping track of yourself after you graduate. Because here's the reality. I'm your teacher until the end of this semester. Then, unless you're taking another class with me over the summer or in the fall, because you need one more class and it happens to be one of mine, this is it. I'm not going to be there to be on your butt and say, hey, how are you doing? Are you meeting your goals? Are you doing this? No. You're an adult. You're going out on your own. For some of you, you've been adults and you've been on your own, but yeah, now you have to keep yourself accountable, and that's what the goals are all about. So, this is the assignment, the list of goals. So, I want you, please, take this seriously. I'd like you to make a list of some SMART goals, and other goals, it's just totally fine. But I want you to make goals. Take what we talked about with the SMART sheet, and I want you to think about goals for yourself for the future. At bare minimum, okay? Absolutely, like, if you only do this much, I'd like you to set some goals at least for immediately after graduation, so that 1 month after graduation, 6 months after graduation, a year after graduation, and then I'd like a 5 or a 10 year after graduation. You can set as many as you want, because again, this is for you to refer back to and decide for yourself if you are holding yourself accountable. So, I'm asking you to think about, what does your future look like? What is it you want to do? How are you going to achieve it? Start setting those goals. They can be big and lofty goals. Just try to keep them realistic. And be honest with how long it's going to take. That's why I put 10 years after graduation. If you are one of my students who is older, and I just mean like you are older than the age of like 22, you know that 10 years from now might look very, very different. Specifically for you, it might be different life circumstances, whatever that might be. Take that into consideration. So, I wish you all luck. I'm excited to read over your goals. Like I said, realistically, as long as you have all those goals written down for me, and it only has to be one for each one of those, you'll get the points. But again, this is for you. This is why I ask you to take it seriously. This is for you to keep yourself honest when you graduate. Heck, if you want to just type them up into Blackboard, that's fine. But I suggest writing them down somewhere for yourself, or print them out, or make a big poster board or something. Keep it in a different way for you so that you keep yourself honest. All right. That being said, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You might have saw my daughter for a little bit. Apologies for her crying. But yeah, that's it. I will see you all in the next video.